You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Coming up, the Mirza Shriners stop by to tell us about this upcoming Sportsman event with a 100-gun fundraiser raffle. It's a fundraiser too.
That's right. And also, officers arrest a Topeka woman for a murder in Neosho County, Kansas.
And we've got showers and thunderstorms off to our northwest, a sign of things to come. We'll break down the full forecast in the Skywatch Weather Center.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. A Cassville, Missouri high school teacher is sentenced in federal court for a sextortion scheme. Authorities say 31-year-old Brandon McCullough of Branson blackmailed dozens of child victims to send pornographic photos and videos of themselves and threatened to send the images to family and friends unless they continued to send him more. They say he pretended to be a teenager online in order to prey upon victims across the country. 11 children have been identified and dozens more are still unidentified. He is sentenced to 30 years in prison without parole. Law officers arrest a Topeka woman for a Neosho County, Kansas homicide case. Authorities say 41-year-old Nicole Fox is a suspect in the death of 34-year-old Blake Pearson, also from Topeka. Last month, Pearson was found in an alley in Chanute with a gunshot wound. He later died. KBI officers arrested Fox in Allen County. An Oklahoma man is dead following a crash in Montgomery County, Kansas. Authorities say Claude Seacrest of Ponca City, Oklahoma, was driving a motorcycle on County Road 1350 when he went off the road and hit an embankment. He was not wearing a helmet. Well, you've cast your votes and now the numbers are in, and we have the results from yesterday's primaries in Missouri and Kansas. We're going to start with the Value Them Both amendment in Kansas. It would allow lawmakers to put tighter restrictions on abortions in the state. The entire nation is watching this count, and the Associated Press has declared the proposition has failed. Again, the no vote prevails in Kansas. In Joplin, Proposition Public Safety would have raised property taxes to boost funding for the police and fire departments. It needed a simple majority, but it failed. 4,643 no, 3,586 yes. 20 candidates competed for the Republican nomination in Missouri's U.S. Senate race. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt is declared the winner in that race. 11 candidates competed to be the Missouri Democratic nominee for U.S. Senate. The declared winner in that race is Trudy Bush Valentine from St. Louis. Now, a lot of Republicans competing for the 7th District congressional seat, currently held by Billy Long. Associated Press has called this race for Eric Burleson. And 3 Democrats are competing for their party's nomination in Missouri's 7th District. Associated Press has called this race for Kristen Radiker Schaefer. And in Missouri's 4th District, 7 candidates competed for the Republican congressional nomination. Mark Alford declared the winner in this race. Well, the folks of Carthage voted on an $18 million school bond for a performing arts center. A majority of folks supported that proposal, but it failed to get the 4/7 majority needed to pass, and that means the Carthage school bond proposal fails. In the Kansas race for governor, Attorney General Derek Schmidt gets the Republican nomination. He will face incumbent Laura Kelly in November. In the Kansas U.S. Senate race, incumbent Republican Jerry Moran easily wins his party's nomination against a single challenger. And a number of candidates are competing for the Democratic nomination for the Kansas U.S. Senate seat. Mark Holland is declared the winner in that race. Oh, in other news, it's pandemonium times 2 at a French zoo. Twin female panda girls are celebrating their first birthday at the Bouville Zoo Park south of Paris. Let's see, their names are Yan Dudu and Juan Lily. They enjoyed some birthday treats, including 2 ice cakes made of bamboo shoots. The twins, who weighed less than a pound at birth, are now 66 pounds each. Their parents are on a 10-year loan from China. China, for decades, gifted friendly nations with its unofficial national mascot and what was known as panda diplomacy. The cubs will spend a few years in France before being sent to China.
I'm curious if that's actually how you say that first panda's name.
Probably not.
That would be a most interesting name, to say the least. But there aren't, oh, look at how tiny it is. They're so small. How do they? I mean, it's so crazy how they start so small.
Well, they were less than a pound, yeah.
And then they just become huge.
They grow into their color and fur, and
yeah, they get to be big.
they're cute.
They are cute, but they can also kill you. Granted,
well, let's take a dark turn on the story.
Going
it's
outside
their birthday,
can
okay?
kill you. So I mean, you know. But hey, happy birthday, pandas! Wait, go! Let's go, pandas! Pandas! Why don't we have any pandas in the building?
Why would we?
Why would we not?
Okay.
I think that's a better argument here. Why would we not have pandas here?
I think it's time for some history.
It is time for our day, this day in weather history. So let's talk about going back all the way to 1970. Hurricane Celia crossed the Texas coastline midway between Corpus Christi and the Aransas Pass. Now, sustained winds were 130 miles an hour, peak gusts to 180, and in 1970, it caused about $1 million in damage. No 180-mile-an-hour winds for us today or really anytime in our near future, hopefully. I certainly hope not. But we do have heat advisories that will continue through the evening. Scattered storms are going to pick up by this afternoon, and then they become a lot more widespread as we head into the overnight. So you take a look off to our northwest. Let's go ahead and take a little journey up to our northwest. There's some scattered storms. This is a sign of things to come because they will build in from that direction and sweep across the area. Ahead of that, all this orange, those are heat advisories. They're less than pleasant to deal with, but it's summertime in the 4 states. Tornado risk is relatively low, but we could see some stronger storms that could bring some small hail and maybe some gusty winds later today. And of course, if any of that changes, meteorologist Doug Hetty will keep you posted, but as of right now, they shouldn't get too crazy. 80 degrees start the day in Joplin. 83 is what it feels like. Most of us starting our day in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. And as we progress through the rest of the day, it's going to heat up quite nicely, hence why we have heat advisories. 100 by 5 o'clock, 95 by 8. When the scattered storms kick in, they should start to knock on our door about the noon hour, and then they'll sweep on through because we'll have more of them tonight. So 83 at 11, 75 at 2, 73, which is a much nicer start to tomorrow compared to today. Those storm chances increase again. Some of them could be on the strong side. And the rain is actually going to stick with us through the day, through the morning rather, tomorrow. So this is 5 o'clock. These storms become a little bit more widespread. Then we get a brief break, and then by 11, they really start to pick up, and overnight, everybody getting in on this rain action, which is very nice to see. And by about 9, 10 o'clock, it'll clear out, takes the clouds with it, and behind that, temperatures in the lower to mid-90s with heat index values pushing 100 to 105. So while we're getting the rain, it's not doing anything for our temperatures, but at least, you know, it's rain. And we do need that rain very desperately around the area.
Oh, we do. That's for sure. All right, well, up next, why women are more likely to get lung disease even if they do not smoke.
And later, we take a sneak peek at the new movie Bullet Train. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, but first, let's take a look at more of those primary election results. In Health Watch this morning, there could soon be new relief for people suffering from chronic back pain. The treatment is not medicinal, but focuses on how the patient thinks about the pain. Australian researchers targeted the nervous system and retrained how the brain and back communicate. Doctors found that patients who received the sensory treatment reported long-term relief from their chronic back pain. Women, even those who do not smoke, are at a higher risk for lung disease. That's according to a new study in the journal Radiology. Doctors recently discovered that women have smaller airways in the lungs, which can lead to chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD. Smoking can narrow the airways even more, increasing the risk of COPD. And a flare-up of gout could raise the risk of heart attack or stroke. New research in Great Britain shows that heart attack or stroke patients were twice as likely to experience a gout flare-up within 60 days before a cardiac event. Gout is a buildup of uric acid, which causes severe inflammation, joint pain, and swelling. A type of lizard not seen for decades in an Ecuadorian region gives hope to conservationists. Iguanas are naturally reproducing in the Galapagos Islands for the first time since the late 1800s. Species of land iguanas are reproducing on Santiago Island. Reintroduction efforts began just 3 years ago. More than 3,000 of them were brought back. Experts weighed in, measured some of them before marking the newborns. Iguanas, turtles, birds, and other species were decimated when humans brought other animals out there. Taking a look at Skywatch Storm Tracker, this is a sign of things to come. You see those little returns on the radar? Those are some showers and even some thunderstorms off that direction. And they are progressively going to build in from the northwest and bring us rain chances. Before they do, though, it's going to be another hot one. We've got heat advisories for everybody in orange until tomorrow, or today rather, at 8 o'clock. Now, some of the storms we see could be a little on the strong side. So you see there's very minimal tornado risk. Really, anything we see is going to be some hail and maybe some gusty wind. And of course, if that changes, Doug Hetty will have the latest from National Weather Service on that outlook tonight. 7th and range line, the sun's coming up, and as it does so, it's going to start to warm up. 80s where we're starting in Joplin, feeling like 83. All of us starting around that same mark, upper 70s to near 80 degrees. And as we go through the rest of today, the thunderstorms by about noon should start to build into our northwestern counties. Still going to see highs around the 100, hence the heat advisories, heat index values upwards of 105 to 110, and then 95 by 8, but those scattered storms will increase as we go into the overnight. 11 o'clock, 2 a.m., 6 a.m., it's going to be storming for a lot of us, but check out how we start the day tomorrow, 73 instead of 81. And again, some of those storms could be strong to severe. We'll keep an eye on that, of course, for you. And the rain should be sticking around through about 9 or 10 o'clock, and once it clears out, it's another hot one for tomorrow. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this.
Welcome back. The Shriners have a very fun event coming up this Saturday that's all for a good cause. I'm joined in the studio this morning by Daryl Orender and Don Wheeler here, joining us to talk about a sportsman event on Saturday.
Thank you. On Saturday, we have our annual sportsman event. It's in conjunction with a 100-gun auction that we have going on. Daryl can go over the 100-gun, and then I'll go over the sportsman event if you want.
Okay.
The 100-gun raffle is actually co-sponsored with the Shrine Temple in Wichita, Kansas. Okay. And that is where the drawings actually take place, and we simulcast them in our own temple. So we have food, fun, and games going on at that time, and the simulcast drawings occur about every 5 minutes until the 100 guns are taken care of, or until they're all won. So. Okay,
so you're competing basically with everyone in the state for the, or just you guys in Wichita, or for
yeah,
the guns?
Their jurisdiction and our jurisdiction.
That's still a lot of guns.
Statistically, I mean, the percentage of the total tickets we sell pretty much matches the percentage of winners that we have from the Mirza Temple area. So awesome. Last year we sold 21% of the tickets, and we had 20 or 21 gun winners from our jurisdiction. So we do have quite a few winners from our jurisdiction.
What kind of guns are being raffled?
All kinds. The list, there's handguns, there's rifles, there's shotguns. It is a wide variety of firearms that are being raffled off.
So when you enter into the raffle, are you entering like a chance for all 100 or individual chances?
It's a pool. It's all 100. However, the gun that's associated with your draw is the one that you do win. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you really don't know that until it's drawn and it tells you which firearm that you actually won.
Okay, and how much are the raffle tickets?
They are $20 a piece and 6 for $100.
Can you purchase them up until Saturday, or is there a cutoff? Yes,
even
before?
Day of. This is done by computer, so as long as we get them entered, and we will be doing that Saturday, because several people will buy them day of, mm-hmm. They will actually still be in the drawing. They'll have just as good a chance to win as if you bought them a month ago.
Okay, well that'll be fun to watch.
Yes, it is.
Let's talk about the event.
The sportsman event is in conjunction with it that day. The drawing starts at noon on the guns, but we open our doors at 2 o'clock to 6. And if you bought a ticket, your ticket stub gets you in for free. Once you're in there for free, we've got free food, free beverage, even adult beverage. And then we're playing games for some guns that will be won just specifically by the people that walk in that door. So we've got several guns. We've got a hunting cabin that's donated, a 2-night stay. Stockstill's hunting cabin. It's out by Uniontown. We've got Albert's Marine going to be set up there. We've got various games and events that can be done, and that's just for the people that walk in the door that day.
Right.
So,
And you don't have to be like related to or connected to a Shriner to be able to attend this event?
no, this is open to the public.
No.
Anybody that walks in, come in, have a great time with us.
And for the 100 gun part of the raffle, you do not have to be present to win. For the guns that we're playing for on site, you do have to be present to win.
And those will be drawn on Saturday?
Yes.
As
Yes.
well? Okay. And I'm sure this is a great opportunity to learn about the Shriner organization as well. Tell me a little bit about your titles. You're the priest and the prophet.
I'm the high priest and prophet. Basically, we donate our time. Daryl's is worse than mine, but I've added up with all the stuff I've done. I'm giving about 500 to 800 hours a week in various Masonic and or a year and stuff. And how it works is you join us, and we say thank you, and we get a little bit of dues. But then we ask you to do something, and then we give you a pin. Then we ask you to do a little more, and we give you a title and all. And sooner or later, you look like a North Korean general. I mean, I got this one because I went to the bathroom yesterday. And you're just, but once you've seen the kids,
Yes.
the children that we have helped, and the lives that you have impacted, and you hear the stories about what the devastation, and then all of a sudden someone says, well, we can fix this. And we do. And we are the best at what we can do. If we're doing it, we are the best in the field on the burns, the orthopedic, the cleft palate. And you saw that at the Shrine Bowl they had last week. We brought the children in that we had fixed. And they are fixed. It's not a patch, it's a fix. And we impact lives.
Yes. We're
Huge. And you provide transportation?
We do.
and-
We're supporting right now approximately 20 kids, and 3 of those we're flying either to Chicago or to Dayton, Ohio. The burn center is in Dayton, Ohio, the cleft palate, and some of the orthopedic is done in Chicago. And we pick up the tab for those and make
There are
sure.
kids from our area?
Yes,
here?
they are, all from our jurisdiction. That's true.
Okay. How big is
That's part of my
How
job.
big is our jurisdiction here?
11 counties in
11
southeast
counties.
Kansas, yes. It goes from about Yates Center over to north of Pleasanton, around Lacine, all the way down to the state line, and then about as far west as Caney.
Well, you guys have, it sounds like you have fun events going on like almost on a monthly basis. And I mean, the goal of that, you guys have fun, but you're raising money for the kids.
Yes, but we want to be clear about this 100 gun raffle is to finance our operations.
Okay.
We have to be clear about that.
Okay.
So, but we have to operate also to be able to serve our kids.
All right.
But we do have funds to take care of the kids' transportation, their lodging. We also do their lodging. We have 2 vans. Matter of fact, one of them just came back. I've got this going out again Friday or Thursday. Transporting kids to the St. Louis hospital. So, and we also reimburse the fuel for the people of our patients whose parents drive them to this hospital in St. Louis. So we do try to take good care of our kids, and our operations allow us to do that.
That's awesome. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. Are we missing anything that we need to add for this weekend's event? No. Is there somewhere they can register online, or where do they get tickets for Saturday's event in advance?
www.mirzashriners.com.
Okay.
That is correct.
That's where they can find all that information out, or they can just show up right at 2 o'clock?
Show up that day, show up at 3. 2, show up at 1, we'll let you in.
Yeah.
When is the first drawing?
Noon.
Noon.
At noon.
Our drawing for the Sportsman event will start at 5:30
Okay.
for all the winners on that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having
You
us.
have great attendance this weekend.
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. It's time now to honor today's 4th State hero, technician 5th grade Harry Dunbar. The native of Fort Scott, Kansas, served in the Rhineland and Central Europe from 1943 to 1945 as part of the 347th Infantry, 87th Infantry Division. This decorated veteran earned the Combat Infantry Badge, the Good Conduct Medal, and the American Theater Ribbon. To technician 5th grade Harry Dunbar, we thank you, today's 4-state hero. Well, the new action comedy Bullet Train follows a group of assassins. One suitcase, one train, and one big summer movie.
Ashley Dvorkin has a preview with the cast.
Hey, this is nice.
Board the Bullet Train in theaters with Brad Pitt leading a star-packed cast in an action comedy adapted from the Japanese novel about assassins on a train with not-so-unrelated missions. Brian Tyree Henry and Aaron Taylor Johnson as Lemon and Tangerine had instant chemistry.
He's such a versatile actor that, I didn't really know who my character was, Tangerine, until Brian stepped into those shoes as Lemon.
Once we met, I think we did a chemistry read together with David Leitch, and we just tossed the scripts aside. It's just we instantly hit it off, and I think that it shows.
Improv also added hilarity to filming.
Who cracked you up in those scenes the most?
It would definitely be
Brian would crack me up. It's Brian, man. I mean, we would just push each other to the limit.
When Aaron is Tangerine, he has the filthiest mouth, and it's so you just gotta let him go, man.
Hiroyuki Sanada stars as the Elder and enjoys the movie's balance of genres.
He has a revenge that's very important for him, but during that kind of serious part, director David Leitch put in some comedy sense. I think that perfect balance between drama, action, comedy.
For that action, director David Leitch started in the stunt world, and Sanada says it was a great collaboration.
If I say something, he immediately understands, and then, okay, let's do it. And then I always felt I love this movie all the time on set.
I gotta get off this train.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Talk about a dangerous train ride.
All I know is it's got Brad Pitt, and
That's where you stopped, was with Brad Pitt. I have to say I did the same.
Takes me back to college. My Legends of the Fall poster I had in my closet. Brad Pitt in the long hair.
I didn't really have posters like that in my closet.
I had one of Marilyn Manson too, so who knows?
Fair enough.
Another half hour of news and weather is just ahead. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, Emily Frankowski from Connect to Culture stops by the studio to tell us all about the latest events happening in Joplin.
And we'll have the tale of another bear. This one getting himself into trouble, though. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We will be right back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:32. Let's take a look at today's top stories. An Oklahoma man is dead following a crash in Montgomery County, Kansas. Authorities say Claude Seacrest of Ponca City, Oklahoma, was driving a motorcycle on County Road 1350 when he went off the road and hit an embankment. He was not wearing a helmet. Law officers arrest a Topeka woman for a Neosho County, Kansas homicide case. Authorities say 41-year-old Nicole Fox is a suspect in the death of 34-year-old Blake Pearson, also from Topeka. Last month, Pearson was found in an alley in Chanute with a gunshot wound. He later died. KBI officers arrested Fox in Allen County. A Cassville, Missouri high school teacher is sentenced in federal court for a sextortion scheme. Authorities say 31-year-old Brandon McCullough of Branson blackmailed dozens of child victims to send pornographic photos and videos of themselves and threatened to send the images to family and friends unless they continued to send him more. They say he pretended to be a teenager online in order to prey upon victims across the country. 11 children have been identified and dozens more are still unidentified. He is sentenced to 30 years in prison without parole.
Well, this morning, we're discussing what you wanted to be when you were little. Now, when some people were younger, they wanted to be teachers. And right now, despite that, there's a teacher shortage across the country. Of course, Kansas is no different. One Kansas school district trying to recruit, even though they're only weeks away from school starting. One factor when it comes to recruiting are those graduating and coming out to the field. Another, though, is the stress from teaching during COVID and the violence going on around the country. It's chased many teachers out of the field and making that recruiting more challenging. Starting pay for this particular school district, though, $45,000. And if you're in for a position it's harder to fill, like math or science, $5,000 bump in there. That brings us to our something to talk about. What did you want to be when you were yay high? when you were little, what did you want to be? Teacher,
An astronaut.
police? I wanted to do what I'm doing right now. Thankfully, I waited until
in front of the green screen?
I enjoy squatting, but I really wanted to do what I'm doing right now, and I'm grateful that I grew at least a couple of more feet so that I'm not that incredibly short.
Yeah.
This green screen, though, is actually, what is this, 10 feet tall?
I actually did want to be on TV in some aspect, though. But I had this desire to be an astronaut, too, and to go into space. My oldest son is pursuing an aspect of engineering where he wants to send me to space someday. So it's going to happen.
Well,
still young.
Space is coming
I'm
in there at
still
some
young.
point. You can do it.
We're all going somewhere someday.
Absolutely. And we are going for some rain today. We're going for the gold when it comes to the rain. We do have the heat advisories that continue through this evening. Scattered storms start to build in by this afternoon. Everybody getting in on the rain action later today. Take a look. This is what's getting ready to happen in our area. These scattered thunderstorms and showers are going to roll to the southeast, and they're going to move in. We do have the heat advisories, which, that's not so fun. Now, some of the storms today could be a little on the strong side. So the tornado threat is very low, but we could see some small hail and some gusty winds with some of the stronger storms today. 7th and range line, the sun is up. It's looking pretty nice. Not a lot of cars on the road, though. Come on, guys, we got to get to work. 80 degrees is where we start our day. 83 is what it feels like, so we get dew point humidity up there in advance of the rain. All of us starting around 80 degrees, and as we progress through the day, those storm chances will increase. Still heading for a high of around 100 with heat index values around 105 to possibly 110. 95 by 8, and those scattered storms will then lead to more storms as we head through the overnight. Temperatures will drop off nicely, too. We're going to start the day much nicer than where we did today. Storm chances, as I mentioned, increase. Some of them could be on the strong side, and the rain will actually continue through tomorrow morning through about 9 or 10 o'clock, and then it'll clear out, and it's going to be another hot one tomorrow, but not nearly as hot. We're talking low to mid-90s for highs, and heat index values around about 100 degrees. We got more at KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Today in the studio, we have our very special guest and friend that we always love to see. It's Emily Frankowski with Connect to Culture. She is here. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You've got a list of things that are going on. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, let's just cut right to the chase. What are some of the key things you've got going on right now?
Yeah, so we have just, 4 different ones that we've picked out, but on the Joplin Area Arts and Cultural Calendar, which is on our website, connecttoculture.org, there are so many. This is just a tiny, tiny bit. We've got performances, events, classes, and exhibits happening all the time throughout the Joplin area. If you're ever wondering what's happening in the Joplin area, in the arts, culture, entertainment sector, come to our website. We'll help you out. But the first thing that I put on our list today is the Back to School Bash. So everyone's going back to school. It could be a little bit of a, stressful time for some. But this is a way to get kids together who love music to listen to local bands. The Non-Permitted Project is putting it on, and they're a group of artists that kind of take on taboo subjects and different things like that. They're a relatively new group, but there are a variety of different local bands that will be there. This is the second annual event too. Eye Creatures, The Odyssey, Blister Soul, Violets Are Blue, and Trent Gaddy. And I've only heard of one of these bands, so I'd be interested in seeing what other local bands are up to in Joplin.
It seems like, and maybe this is just because we have Connect to Culture to finally be able to bring this stuff to us. It seems like there's a lot more local bands than there used to be.
Yeah.
But it may also be they've always been there, but they've never really had a way to promote in a venue like this through C2C to get the word out there.
Yeah, we're all about providing more access to all of these sorts of things. So I love that you said that. So that's one option. And then for events, we've got a really great event coming up. And I don't just say that because it's a Connect to Culture event, but it's the 7th Annual Arts and Cultural Preview. And if you haven't come to this event before, which it's on Saturday, August 13th, and it's at 10 a.m. in the Joplin Public Library's community room. If you haven't been to this event, it is a great way to learn about all of the arts and culture that is out there and what organizations are putting it on. Basically, we invite all of the arts and cultural representatives to come and present about their organization for 2 minutes total. And they talk about what they're all about and then what the season that they have planned for in this case, it's 2022 to 2023. So this is a really good opportunity to see, you know, what does Joplin Little Theater got coming up? What does Spiva Center for the Arts got coming up? What does Connect to Culture have coming up? Or the Cornell Complex? But we have over 40 different organizations, I think, that have signed up. So it's a really wonderful opportunity. And what we do is we partner with MSSU's KGCS, the student run TV station,
Right.
and they tape it, record it, and then we produce a video that we put on YouTube. So if you miss it, you can always go back, look through the timestamps to a particular organization, and get the scoop on what they've got coming up.
Gotcha. And then you've also got an exhibit, Reflections of Joplin, coming up. What's that going to be about?
Yeah, so that's going on right now, and I actually went to it last weekend. But this is at Spiva Center for the Arts, and it's in the Regional Gallery and the Upstairs Gallery. And this exhibit was put together by Local Color in Joplin, which is in the Griffin Building downtown. And their artists organized this exhibit all surrounding celebrating Joplin's 150th birthday, or the sesquicentennial.
Sesquicentennial, yes.
That's a fun word to learn today.
It is, and you know, it's a great word to be able to say, too.
It is,
I mean,
yes.
Go practice it at home.
Yeah, so Local Color artists, their artwork is in the Regional Gallery, and it depicts all types of Joplin history. So you'll see paintings of different people that are significant in Joplin's history, as well as landscapes and things about the mining days. You'll see pictures of Joplin's Union Depot. And then upstairs, in the Upstairs Gallery, you'll see, since Local Color, and we'll talk about one of their classes soon. They have all these classes for painting, and their professional artists teach new up-and-coming artists how to paint. And so in the Upstairs Gallery, you'll see the student artwork they had a class where Joplin's history was the inspiration. So you'll see all of that artwork shown upstairs.
That's got to be absolutely amazing to see.
It's really fun, and a lot of the artwork is for sale. I even purchased one from a high school student.
I've got to get up there and purchase some art.
Yes.
Because I love collecting some art, and having local art I think is even more important. And then
Yeah.
you did mention that they've got the family fun painting classes as well.
Yes, so if you should go take a look at that exhibit, and if you've ever wanted to learn how to paint from a professional artist, Local Color Art Gallery and Studio constantly has different classes, and this one is Family Fun Painting class for ages 8+. So this is, you could bring the whole family, and you can bring inspiration. If you want to paint something specifically, bring along a picture of it, and they'll help you paint that. And if you have no idea, they've got plenty of different, inspiration at the gallery that they can help you choose from.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I know we're pretty much out of time, but I did want to ask real quick, how exciting is it, to have the Cornell Complex,
Yes.
approaching on its opening time, to be able to have this formal center for all of these things to take place in?
Yes, we are looking so forward to welcoming the public to see the Cornell Complex. They're inside actually doing a lot of finishing work, a lot of cleaning. There's a lot of cleaning before we can get the keys, but it's going to be just wonderful to have that intentional space for the arts in Joplin. And just, since I even started working for Connect to Culture in 2013, the arts have just blossomed. There's so much more to do. And, thankfully we have Connect to Culture to let us know about everything that's going on. But, it's going to be the hub for the arts. Spiva Center for the Arts is going to be living in there. Connect to Culture. Pro Musica even has an office. And then other arts organizations, we want them to feel comfortable performing inside the Beashore Performance Hall or outside on the Leggett and Platt Green. But a lot of opportunities coming Joplin's way. And in November, that's when we're going to have our opening days.
All right, we're looking forward to it. So again, you can find all this information, connecttoculture.org. That's connecttoculture.org. And of course, you'll find it on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. We'll be right back.
Well, a couple in Connecticut has a bear of a pest control problem.
No, seriously, they're actually dealing with a bear.
It's gotten inside their home more than once, raiding their refrigerator for food.
One makes me wonder if I'm a bear. Well, one of the encounters was caught on camera.
Aaron Connolly reports.
Normally, when we're home, that door's open. Just last week, Bill Priest walked outside to find a bear going through his fridge in his garage.
I was mad. I was just really mad. Probably because I knew it was going to be a lot of work for me.
He knew that wouldn't be the last bear sighting from his West Hartford home, but he never expected the next would be in his kitchen.
Because I came in through that door, and I got to that doorway, and he was right there. And when he saw me, he ran over here.
Get out of here. Go on.
Well, he did startle me. That was probably the one time I was scared.
That's when Bill grabbed a chair to put in between him and the bear. He noticed the bear really made himself comfortable, eating an entire bag of marshmallows and other snacks.
When he had everything on the floor in there, eating.
Go on.
Bill was able to get the bear out through the front door, but not even 24 hours later, the bear was back. This morning, he tried to get in through the same way he left yesterday. He even ripped the screen from the door in an attempt to get inside. When the bear couldn't get in through the front, it made its way to the back.
Right when I got here, he was coming up onto the deck. And he came up to this door, and he started trying to push it open. We've been having bears for years, but this is the first time they've ever done something that's going to be damaging to anything. And so I was mad. I was really mad.
Well, the couple called authorities who dropped off a trap baited with donuts.
Should have put marshmallows in there since that's what he was after.
Clearly, that's what he likes.
If it works, they said they're going to sedate and tag the animal. So, all right.
I'm pretty sure it's the same bear coming back. Or is he telling all his buddies?
He could be going back out there and saying, hey, you guys know where there's some really good marshmallows? That house right over there.
I'll show you where the picnic is. Yeah.
That's where that picnic basket is. Today, not necessarily a good day for a picnic basket as we've got increasing storm chances by the time we hit this afternoon. Still going to be hot. Heat advisories remain in effect. Temperatures pushing 100 with heat index values pushing 105 to 110. And then storm chances increase overnight. Everybody getting in on the rain action as we head through the overnight and into tomorrow morning. 73 to start the day, though, which will be a lot nicer than where we started today. There are some strong storms that could be possible, but otherwise we should just get a good dumping of rain. So this is noon. You see the storms building in from the northwest, and they'll track slowly off to the southeast. They'll be pretty scattered through the early evening, and then they'll increase in coverage. So this is 11 o'clock tonight. You see a few more of them starting to get together. And by the time we head into the overnight, take a look at that. There's a lot more of them as we start our day tomorrow. And they'll hang out with us through about 9 or 10 o'clock. And then they quickly get out of here. They clear the skies behind them. Temperatures tomorrow pushing the lower to mid-90s with heat index values pushing close to 100 to 105. After those storms clear out, maybe a chance Friday, and then it heats up through the weekend and start of next week with temperatures pushing into the lower 100s by next Monday and Sunday. That's just going to be hot again. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. President Biden says he will sign the burn pit legislation when it reaches his desk. Senate passed the PACT Act Tuesday evening after a number of Republicans dropped their opposition. Following nearly a week of delays, outrage, and protests led by former talk show host and comedian Jon Stewart. Veterans organizations tell CBS News it could impact over 3 million vets, including those exposed to toxins as far back as Vietnam. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is in Taiwan with a congressional delegation. She is the highest-ranking U.S. official to visit since 1997. China is condemning the visit and has begun military drills off the shores of Taiwan in response. Pelosi says she is there to support Taiwan's democracy in the face of threats by the Chinese government. Voters in Kansas are protecting abortion access in the state. In the first referendum since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, voters chose to reject a measure that would have allowed the Republican-controlled legislature to restrict or ban abortions. 2019 ruling by the Kansas Supreme Court called abortion a fundamental right under the state's Bill of Rights.
We have got pretty decent temperatures starting the day. In fact, it's mild, and they're going to give way to even warmer temperatures throughout the day. 100 by 5 o'clock for our afternoon high. Heat index values 105 to 110. That's why we have heat advisories. You can also see scattered storms. They should start around noon. And then we've got increasing storm chances through the night. A few of them may be on the strong side, and they'll hang with us tomorrow morning. 73 to start the day. And then it's going to be hot. Those storms clear out about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. And as soon as they do, it gets pretty darn toasty for tomorrow, but not as toasty as today, to highs in the lower to mid 90s.
Right, well, Applebee's has a new way to spice up date nights. The restaurant chain unveiled 4 lip glosses that are based on their wing sauces. They are Get Me Hot Buffalo, Be My Honey Pepper, and Sweet Chili Kiss, and Honey Barbecue Tea.
These products are the result of collaboration between Applebee's and makeup company Winky Lux. So these names get better and better. The saucy glosses are only available on Winky Lux's website. The cost is $18 or $65 for all 4 in the collection. What a great list of names.
I don't know about having spicy lips.
Well, but it's coming from Winky Lux.
But the honey glaze would be good. Be very sweet.
If you say so. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. Go try some of that stuff. And then we'll see you for more news and weather at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.